full screen. Ready to go live? Is it live? We're
Yeah.
live.
Oh, don't forget your
My what?
text number.
Oh, I will. I'll put that up later because I think we're live. Hi, everybody.
Oh,
hi.
Hello.
Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Mama Pause. We are here to just have a girlfriend chat. This is the time where we take a pause out of our day. I'm here with my dear friend Tracy Green. Hi, Tracy Green.
Hi.
How are you? We have a little special. It's a special day. It's the day after Tracy's birthday.
Woohoo.
Happy birthday, Tracy.
Thank you. It's
Yay.
raining really hard in California.
Is it? Did you need the rain? Because
yes, wash away the old. Yeah, we need it for the ground and wash away the old.
Nice. So do you feel so? It's raining right now. Was it raining yesterday for your birthday?
A little bit, a little cloudy here and there.
A little bit.
But it was really nice. Wow, what a day I had. It's just like I literally couldn't keep up with the messages of love.
Oh,
and I got flowers. Look, I got flowers and
yay!
It was so sweet. My son made signs and decorated the house. And when I woke up in the morning, my very favorite thing that I do to people, and he did it to me, is I usually put streamers, but we use toilet paper. And when you open your door in the morning, there's just a wall of joy in front of you. And Nevin wrote 51 all over the toilet paper streams.
Because he knows that you would love celebrating every single beautiful year that you have been alive.
It's true. Well, birthdays have changed for me since my whole medical history recently. It's I don't know if I necessarily would be as grounded and happy and grateful to be turning 50 and 51.
Did you always like birthdays though? Did you always celebrate? Because I'm like I love birthdays. I'm a Libra. We love our birthdays. We're like, it's birthday month. We celebrate it all year.
Yeah, birthday month.
Birthday month. I love my birthday.
Yes. I love my birthday, but I love other people's birthdays more.
More than that.
Because I just love to decorate and shower them with love and messages and all that stuff.
I definitely learned the birthday decorating from you because I did that last year for Mylan's birthday. I did she had streamers hanging down. I actually did use streamers. I did not use toilet paper, but that's somehow appropriate for coming from you.
It is. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. So I had streamers and the whole thing, but the child didn't let me take them down all year. I think I finally ripped a few down so I could just easily walk into her room finally. She didn't let me move them out at all. She was like, I want them. They were like permanent decorations.
Oh, yeah. Well, it truly is birthday month at our house because it's Nevin's birthday, then it's mine, and then Dave's is a week later. Exactly.
That's true. 1 month from like practically month to month, right? Like the middle of February to the middle of March. And then you guys have that's so nice. Well, it's good I'm glad to see you look bright and like you got that love and little self-care time in and love up on yourself. You needed that. Well, we all need that. I needed that. I had a rough couple of weeks. Yeah. I don't know. I'm like up and down and up and down and up and down. I'm like, what is happening over here? Because sometimes I'm like, okay, I got this. And then I'm like, oh my God, I don't have this.
Yes.
I think so.
A time for transitions right now. Lots of movement in everybody's lives.
There is. And I think sometimes people think, do we have, we had some people watching us. Hi, everybody. I didn't mean to ignore everybody. We just started talking and I was like, oh, there's people.
Yeah.
But let us know where you're watching from. I had that in let me put that up and then people won't think that we're totally ignoring them.
Right. There you go. And look, I just want to share this too of some of my This is my great auntie Ethel's.
Right. I need glasses for this.
Lady head vase. So this is there's all these different beautiful vintage vases like this, but you literally can put water in it and then it comes out of her hat.
That grew out of her?
No. It's a vase like for flowers.
Okay.
I took some of my birthday, but this is my great auntie Ethel's that I inherited after she passed away. But it's like I always love when I put the flowers in it, and then it makes the hat even bigger. Isn't that incredible?
It's pretty amazing. It's very you as well. I love that you have all of these things that are like you just are a collector of the wildest and craziest things. And it's always so fun and it's always so you. I feel like I like jump when I was a kid, I sort of like was always finding my style. Like I didn't have a style. I was always like, "Ooh, I like what that looks, what you're doing. Let me try that." No, I don't want to do that. Let me try. Some people like you, and I have another friend, Suzanne, who just always had the very like definite, like, and I'm not saying you know exactly who you are, but you have a style that you're committed to, that you love, that is you, that just resonates. And I'm always I just admire that about people that have that. I didn't have I'm like, I don't know. I probably wouldn't. I'd be like not even brushing my hair or my teeth. One of those people. If people didn't like make that socially, like you had to do that or something. That was
I call my style stuff I like.
Stuff you like, but you like a very specific thing that is cool. That I mean, I guess maybe I have a style too, but I don't really know what it is.
Yes, you do.
I like to just talk. I'm like, let me tell you my opinion.
Oh, look at cheers. We have
my favorite thing
from England here. Thanks for joining us.
Yay. Hi, guys. How do I switch to the comments?
Where are you, though, in the UK? I have lots of friends over there, and I've spent lots of time. You have an Auntie Ethel also. Oh, look, Steph has an Auntie Ethel. I love it.
I love it. Hi, Stephanie.
She was a very important person to me. My Auntie Ethel.
I remember the story.
Aunt, yep. And she actually, my mother grew up with a younger sister that had some mental faculties specials. And so a lot of, there's a lot of, back and forth.
She's colorful lady.
Like, but my mother spent a lot of time with her aunt, my great auntie Ethel. And every Saturday, she would take my mother for tea downtown at the tea room. And they would get dressed up. And so when my mother had me, it was just like having another grandmother. It was just such a special, inspirational person in my life.
I love the memory of that. Like that's such like just to do to have those kinds of like with my family, it was like I remember making meatballs with my grandmother on Sunday. Like we had memories like that. Or actually, no, my grandmother took me to Annie when I was like 8 at the Walnut Street Theater, I think, downtown in Philadelphia. It was Broadway. And I think I was so enthralled with the show that I insisted that was Andrea McArdle, the original Annie. But even though she was like at that time probably 25. And I was like, that was her. And they were like, no, honey, it wasn't. But we were far away, so I didn't really know. But I was enthralled. And that is like just one of those. I just love memories. We really need to make those memories with kids. You know, sometimes life goes by so fast. And it's like, did we take the time to like have a ritual that we do every Tuesday or every Sunday? Or is there something that we do once a month with that special person or those people? Because you just never know. And, you know, things happen and life goes by really fast. But when those people aren't going to be in your life anymore, right? Because I know Auntie Ethel isn't with us anymore, right?
Mm-hmm. It's so true. Oh, it's always gets me emotional when Nevin comes to me with a story that he remembers so specifically and the feelings around it. And it might even not be something that I remember, but had as an impression on him. And I just love that because it's so important to me to hold memories dear and all the smells and the sights and the sounds around it and reliving it in the moment. There's nothing like that. Yeah.
I love that. Mylon and I have been going through pictures lately because she's at that age where she's really curious and interested about what she was like when she was younger. I remember waiting, like I wanted her so very much to be interested in her younger self, but she was like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She was like, yeah, I don't care. I don't want to know. And I wanted to just look back at the memories and share them with her. And she just was not interested in who she was. But now, as almost 15, a couple weeks, right? Oh no, a month, 1 month. We're at the 1 month countdown. As a teenager, she's so curious and she gets such a kick out of looking at those pictures. Is that hello, Diane? Is that Diane?
Speaking of baby Maya Luna.
Speaking of baby Maya Luna.
Who birthed her.
Who dragged it. Well, I was the birthing. Diane was the dragging. We would say that Diane was the catching, but she was actually the pulling, dragging girl. We always laugh. I think I said that the first time she was with us. There's a good memory, right? From who's got a childbirth memory? Although that can be a really tough subject because a lot of people do not have good memories of that time.
Yeah.
Childbirth can be really tricky for some. But hi, Diane. It's so good to see you. I have to keep putting on my glasses if I want to read these comments, but I have a little bit of a headache, you guys, so I'm not leaving them on today. I made it late. Sorry. Oh my gosh. There's a Facebook user, so we have to
It's the same Facebook user.
Well, there's a couple. We have a couple.
Right. We love you.
Love you. It could be Amy. It could be Tanita. It could be, there's so many people that it could be, actually. There's a few that are always in the Facebook group because sometimes, do we go live all through? Yeah. So we're on the page, in the YouTube, and in the group now. We're glad that you're here.
We are planning on continuing to do this, not only for ourselves, but we seem that, all of you that have been participating really seem to have a nice response to it. But if you want to suggest some things that we should talk about, that you want to hear our opinions about or information,
stories, we can talk to you too. We can bring people into this, Tracy.
Yes. Come on. I love that idea.
We should do that. So if anybody wants to join us for a little mama downtime, time to mama pause, we can do that. I think we should set it up so that they have the link and then they can be watching and then we just bring them on.
Yes.
Doing it live might be a little trickier. But we would love to do that. Just have you guys on, or if you have questions, we definitely want to. If you have questions about, obviously, Teach Through Love is my page about communication and parenting.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to chat about that. We'll take a few minutes if you guys have questions about stuff because Tracy and I have done a lot of that together. Through the trenches, even when we were apart, but definitely in those first 5 years, of course. But then even as our kids got older, we would do it through these chats that we're now including everybody in. So we would love to share our stories and ideas for doing it in, that just being more conscious and aware of our kids and their feelings and how we can sit with discomfort because usually we're in a rush and we want to, and it's up and down. I think that people come sometimes to this page and think that, compassion is something that you get to it and you're like, okay, now I have compassion. I'm there. I do it all the time. It's like, no, that's not it. Actually, I have compassion today. Tomorrow, I might be a little lower on it, but that's what I realized this last 2 weeks. So I was saying that I have been just up and down a lot. Who knows? There's so many things going on, right?
Yeah.
Age, pandemic, just
seasons changing.
Yeah. It was so cold. Actually, it's really warm. It was 68 yesterday and it's warm today. So I'm definitely going outside after we're here because it just makes me so happy. But it's it's up and down. And I realized that I had been, even though I was still doing my meditation and I was eating junky food for a while there, and I wasn't sleeping very well. And I was drinking so much freaking coffee.
Oh.
Are there any coffee addicts out there? So first of all, I switched to decaf. I'm not sure if that's better, but I know the caffeine at least is gone. I'm hoping because I needed to just wean myself off these things because it's such a it's such an ADD crutch for me. Like there's so many things that caffeine does for me, or coffee in general.
Yeah.
But I switched to decaf, but it was making me crazy. All of these things swirling, and I was just like, I just was not doing well. So
Yeah.
I got back to a little self-care.
That's amazing that you did that. A lot of people can't ditch coffee.
Well, I didn't ditch it. I'm drinking
No.
decaf. I don't know if that's
Yeah, that's
I don't know if that's like if it still has the same effect on like my whole hormonal stuff and my body nerves. Like I haven't.
Yeah.
I think it's less. It's better, but I haven't fully like looked into it. But I started there because I thought it was. If anybody knows, please share that with me. But I don't.
Excuse me.
I have a caffeine in a lot because I love chocolate and I love coffee. So I think that was a big part of my thing.
I've never been a coffee drinker. I had 1 cup of coffee when I was 13 or 14, and I literally walked around like this for 24 hours. It had the worst effect on me, and I've never had coffee since.
Well, what about the soda that you used to drink? Was that decaffeinated? Because I know you don't drink it anymore, but did that have caffeine in it? Was that a caffeine for you? Okay.
That became, it was Diet Coke addiction. And I was totally addicted to it.
DCD, I had DCD.
Seriously. And I gave it up on September 21st, 2017.
Holy crap. Do you have a coin? Because you're like serious about this.
Oh, it's so serious. I think it really, not only was I addicted to it, but it hurt me in a lot of ways. A lot. Because there were some times that I didn't drink any water. I would just continue the sodas.
Oh, wow.
So, I know it was bad.
I remember you with the big
gulp. I always had a giant cup. It's true. And part of it too was the fun. I called them my drink friends, but I like to get it from the fountain. I wasn't a can person at all. It had to be a certain way or I didn't have it.
It does have a different taste when it comes out of you're right.
That's definitely different. But I had this social thing around it too, where I would go and visit my drink friends at the places that I would get it at every day. And
there was a ritual then. So that was sort of like, it was a ritual that it was part of like something that you enjoyed. Like I don't want to call it a self-care routine, but it was in a way because it was a ritual that you did. So even though the diet, because you could replace the Diet Coke maybe and get those other things. And I certainly don't mean to minimize like addiction for anybody that I'm making light of things and being silly here. I don't mean to minimize addiction.
It's hard work.
It's not something that I think is funny. So I don't say that, but we can have these. I think we're addicted to a lot of things. We can be addicted to work. We don't recognize we don't recognize that as maybe being as unhealthy as say being addicted to alcohol, but it is. It affects our lives in those same ways. Or being addicted to food, or being addicted to shopping, being addicted to being a people pleaser. Like there's so many things, because that people pleasing is like gives us that rush of being approved of or being liked or being included. Like there's so many ways that we can sort of manipulate our lives to feed that need that we have, whether it's a physical need that's saying I need that, there's always something that we're filling, even though the drug obviously may become a real need. There's like a deeper internal actual need that we're filling, right? Every time that we're reaching for those substances, even with coffee and things. For me, I think it kept me like focused, and it was part of my wake up routine.
Yeah.
It was like something that I looked forward to that made me feel like my morning got going.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was something that you were responding to. So you're like, oh, this is self-care again, that whatever it is, it's something that you're doing to satisfy yourself.
Yeah. It made me feel good. It was making me feel good. Now, was it healthy for me to feel good in that way? That's where I'm like, okay, so I got my decaf. I got it right over here.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I know a few people who've recently switched to Oh my gosh, I can't remember specifically, but it's some kind of like a nut coffee.
Are you gonna give me one of those like mud things where they're like, "This is coffee"?
Yes.
No,
like
it's
sunflower seeds
brown
or
water is only
I know.
the only sameness that's happening there. I'm
Just go
telling
with
you.
the tea. Go
I'm
with
kidding. I don't really know anything about those. Please know
Yeah.
that. Take today very lightly, people. Don't take anything I say seriously. And obviously, we're not experts on any of this
anything.
Anything.
Especially
There's
me.
nobody expert. You know what? I really want to make right now. I told you I was listening to that Amy Poehler podcast, and she was like, I really want to make mediocrity a thing. Like everybody's striving and you got to be perfect and all. And I'm like, I'm on board. So today's podcast is in honor of Moxie Girls.
Oh my gosh.
Back. Did anybody watch it?
2 times.
Okay, I cried. Mylene was like, Mom, are you okay?
I'm so proud of Amy Poehler for getting it all out there in such a beautiful art piece that is, will be widely spread throughout the whole world. It's beautiful, all of it.
I so enjoyed it. I really did. And it really made me realize how, obviously I've had moments where I've thought about, there's many moments where this has come into my awareness, how lucky we are that we were born, you're 70, right? 1970?
Yeah, 1970.
Yeah. So we're both those first few years of the 70s. And it was like, we had so much that happened as we were being born. And before that, that put us where I was just recognizing the power of that, I think, in that movie and the fight that's still, of course, happening. And it was just, I cried, freaking cried.
Yep. It makes sense.
It was so well done. It was really well paced. And my kid's a critic and she liked it. And she's very critical. She wants to be a director.
The shot. Okay. First of all, the party scene, when the 2 girls go to the party, that is one continuous shot, which is so impressive in an art state, no matter what. But the way that was portrayed was like you and I could be you and me going to a party in high school. It was just beautiful the way that it all fit in. I thought the characters and the actor, I just thought all of it was really perfect way to get this incredibly important message out there.
It was so good. And those kids, they were fantastic.
The actors.
Yeah.
The casting was great. Everybody was so strong.
It's just, okay. We're done now. We're done over Moxie Girls and the Lindas.
Okay. Can I just tell you something? Those are my girls.
I know. You just tell me about them way, way before. Because I'm like, why do I know these girls?
I have known them since they were babies and infants. Infants and toddlers. Their mother owns she designs her own infant clothing line called Kumquat. And her store was next to mine in Eagle Rock.
I did not realize that. Because I'm like, why do I know that? Okay, I love them. I had no idea that was her store. Oh my gosh, I didn't putting it all together. Because I knew that when you sent me that video, so that's if nobody knows, you didn't see the movie, this amazing teenage rock band.
They are between 11 and 14 years old. And they're all girls. 2 of them are sisters. One's a cousin and one's a best friend. And the 4 girls.
Best friend, I was wondering about that. I love them.
Yes. They're going places.
Really great. Amazing. Just look up the video, go to their page, watch them rock out to those songs. I love them. So it was just like, girl power weekend.
And they all started on violin. And now they're on drums, guitar, bass. Yeah, it's great.
You can tell that they were musicians. Like they weren't just playing around. They were serious. Like they were.
You know what? They're having fun, though, more than anything throughout this. And for the few years that they've been doing this, I think it's about 2, a little more than 2. It's all about the fun. It's just been, they have that energy and that essence that people want to delve into.
Because they're having fun.
They're having
authentic, right? They're not trying to be something. especially in Los Angeles, that could be really hard because there's so many people that maybe are trying to be something, and is a saturated kind of place to be a kid that's got talent. There's a lot of people out there with a lot of talent, but they just have like a spark. There's just something about them, or I only saw those videos and whoever directed them was just doing a fantastic job. And then they said they were being directed over Zoom, and I was like,
Yes.
they're amazing.
Yeah.
So everybody go watch the movie because it was awesome.
It was wonderful. Yeah.
Share it with your kids.
It brought up a lot of feelings in me about growing up in the 70s and hearing, like, being a little girl in the 70s was weird because it was a really big transitional time, because you heard about the equal rights for women, the ERA. And it was like, I remember thinking, well, we get to work. What are you doing? Like,
not realizing the impact of it.
Yeah. I remember thinking, why are you women making a big deal? Look at the things we do get to do. What? What?
No, yeah. Well, your young mind didn't realize. But again, I think that's why I was crying at the movie, because I don't think I realized how very much I probably just took for granted, because I thought, well, I remember when I learned that, I think it was in like 1973, that women could get credit on their own.
Yes.
Without their husbands. And I remember when the time I learned that, I was like, are you kidding me? The year I was born? How does that happen?
Isn't that amazing? I just found the credit cards used to be a little printed piece of metal, and it had a number on it, and they would make an impression of it, right? And way back in the 40s. And I just found my grandmother's credit card that said my grandfather's name on it.
Yeah, of course, like it probably just had Mrs. So and so with his name, kind of thing. Yeah, well, I don't really. I think it would make my brain explode if I realized if I took in the impact and the emotional weight of what it would feel like to not have those freedoms, because we don't know anything else. If I had learned it, or if I don't know, if I learned it younger, or if I'd realized it younger, I would have been, I don't know, now. It just makes me so angry to think about that. I don't know. I say that, obviously you can live through anything when it's happening, but it makes my brain want to explode when I think about how much we still have so far to go as humans.
But we've come so far too.
We've come far. But there's still, I guess, a long way to go. But the more that and how do we get there? I think, this is my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to share. I'm just going to speak for myself.
Yeah.
All right. Now I've built it up. It's not that great. No. The more that I just at least take care of myself in that way. So I have my owl. Here he is.
Oh, yeah.
Take care of myself, or remember, like, check in like this, when I realized that I was totally going off base the last couple of weeks. And I did some EFT. Does anybody do EFT?
Oh, yeah.
That's got me back on. Like, I was like, I just did that. Some tapping, you guys. I was doing tapping like 20 years ago. 25. Yeah, like 20 years ago, I guess, when it wasn't like a thing. And then I was like, sort of didn't talk about it for a while, because it seems like, oh, you're tapping on your head, and there's it seems a little weird, but it works. So Google it, tapping, if you don't know about it. But I did some of that to get back. So the more that I take care of myself, the more that I just then can do stuff I want to do, show up the way I want to. I have less conflict in my life with other people, and I could find ways out of the difficulties that I have, whether it's with like an emotional relationship, or whether it's a financial struggle. I know a lot of people are having right now, or like worries about retirement, which is like one of those things that you start to think about in your 40s, and you're like, oh, that's not all that. I mean, retirement in the sense of like, do I have enough money to live out the rest of my life, and how will I make money the rest of my life? Not like, can I sit back and just, have cocktails at 11? Not that kind of retirement, but just like the actual, the realities of it. All of those things affect like whether we have that in place or feel like we have control over that affects the way we can be in the world. So I'm just committing to taking myself a little bit less seriously and doing my EFT and dancing a little more. My Luna took a video of me yesterday in the car. The Bee Gees came on. And my body just like automatically just started. So she whipped out her camera and I turned around and I realized she'd been videoing me. I think she's kind enough. See, I have a really nice kid, so she probably won't post that anywhere. She'll just save it for her own enjoyment. But that's what I'm doing because I otherwise I was going to just be a raging in the world. And I didn't want to say that in case there were little kids listening. Sometimes in the background, there's children. But I would just be an awful person. I don't want to be an awful person.
Doesn't feel good. It really feels, it's so much easier and a lot less work to feel low and down. And and to perpetuate that joy every day is work.
This, yes, but it's like this. Like I'm learning to do this, right?
Yeah. I mentioned my aunt earlier, not my great aunt Ethel, my mother's sister, and she lived a really sad life. She never was. She definitely had chemical imbalance for sure in her spirit, but she lived a life in her older years of living in the past as if it was happening, and would constantly talk about how beautiful she was and everything used to be, and that how much she disliked herself. And I always would say to her as a little kid, just wake up every morning and say, I love you in the mirror, even if you're lying, because one day you'll just believe it.
You were saying that as a kid.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It sounds stupid freaking cheesy, but like liking ourselves is actually a thing. And it has so much impact on how we treat other people, like our kids or our partners or our friends.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. I don't know. Like when I will find myself feeling affected by my husband's mood and blaming myself. What did I do that he's in that mood? Like, hello? I finally learned about that. I'm like, nope, it's not a reflection. It's something that I'm going through. It's separate. It's really interesting. And so it became easier for me on a daily basis, just navigating those emotions in our house.
You know what? I'm sitting here like, duh. And one part of my brain, like, how many times is that happening where I'm not even paying attention? That's what's happening.
Right?
Yeah.
I know.
It just like made me go, wow, totally. Because we're sensitive to that too. I know that I think there's some people maybe who aren't as tuned in to emotions, and it's not good or bad. It's just the way maybe some people are affected. And then I can take that personally as well. Like, it's almost like, well, you don't notice, instead of just recognizing this person has a different experience.
Yeah.
There's a quote thing on Facebook that I remember writing once that said, like, be okay with your child having a different idea than you.
Don't take it so personal.
Yeah, it's like, it's not about you.
Yep. That's so true.
So much good hug stuff where you're telling me, like,
yeah,
remind me of all.
Well, that's the whole thing about having a full tool belt or toolbox, right? Filling it up, because it's just stuff that's instilled in you. And instead of your brain doing on a subconscious level those negative things. It does the positive things because you got the box all full. And you're using that stuff even though you're not physically pulling it up, you know?
I
It's
realized, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
it's not, that was it.
I realize it's so hard to do that sometimes if you don't know what it feels like. Like if you didn't have, or if you haven't been in that space of feeling good for a while, you can't get there. So if anybody's watching and then has felt that, I'm going to go look at the comments because I don't know if anybody's been saying anything. But if you're at that place where you can't, where you haven't felt good in a while, I think it's really, really, it's hard to then like just even imagine that good feeling again. So take baby steps, of course, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's like, we can't just jump into it immediately. Is that
But you know, it's not just giant things too. It's little teeny things that you take the time for. Like, okay, doing a facial mask. It sounds like it's this big thing you have to prepare for and do. But literally you just put the stuff on and then you've done it.
Then you come on next week and do a facial mask for us.
Oh, I will. But I always think about it and I never do it. And like, when I was getting ready for this morning, I was like, I'm going to do it because I have this one clay mask thing that you put on and it looks like for about a half an hour that you're a different person. It's great. So I was like, I'm going to do that. I did it before. I was like, oh yeah, look at that. My neck is
the one where you look like a statue when you have that on?
Yes. You can't really smile or anything. It just goes, it's like a clay, you know. But it only literally took minutes. Rinsed it off.
Do it.
I was like, oh, okay. I'm gonna do this every other day.
And yet
time
you avoided it because it felt like a process or something to do, and then it was yeah.
But it's only a moment, or even like getting a tea. That's something can be a ritual for someone, or just calming. And we know that there's all kinds of benefits of tea rather than just the benefit of the taste buds.
Oh, like herbal tea and things, you mean? So like
pathogenic teas, blends, yes. And so even taking that second it takes to drink this or to make it and smell it, it makes such a difference in your life.
I say that, I've said that to people in my classes a lot when we're talking about mindfulness. I'm like, even a cup of tea, can you do that with not the intent to make it and then drink it, but to just actually enjoy the experience of the tea, and then like, you know, like steeping the bag, like not rushing through and waiting or walking away while it does it, but can you stay with that bag that whole 4.5 or 5 minutes and just slow down?
That's good. That's good.
It's hard to do that, especially if you're like I'm someone that, and especially, I don't know, my caffeine might have been fueling this, but I was like laying in bed with my phone, like my eyes are falling asleep, like they're literally just so heavy, they're closing, and I'm trying to figure out what should I do next. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? Why am I trying to like do until I fall into my bed? Because I had literally fallen into my bed already, and I was still, and that was my wake up call to be like, stop.
That was your go to sleep call.
Well, that was my go to sleep call. It was my slow the freak down call, because I'm not enjoying the tea. I'm like, you know, it's not, I don't even remember the tea. There's like, I'm at the store buying a new box because I drank it all and I didn't remember any of it already.
Right. I know.
So this week I'm slowing down.
Yeah, that's good. It's important because and especially now that, you know, even if you're still able to go out and be in the world at this time, or you are choosing to stay home now, this is such a transitional time for everybody. And taking those few minutes here and there will help you in a week's time. Or talk to your kids in 5 minutes when they come in and are yelling and such and spilling things.
To slow down, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. take that time to
Take the time.
check in.
Slow down. And
Slow
to experience everything,
And
even
if
if
you
it is crazy.
anybody has ideas on how they slow down, tell us. Because I always like ideas. And people who read the comments after will get your ideas. But like, what do you do to slow down? Because sometimes like people will say that, or I'll say it to myself, like you need to slow down. But then I'm like, I don't know what that means right now.
Yeah.
Like it means slow down, like close your eyes when they're finally falling. Like I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how to do that sometimes. Like right now I have like my 2 activities. Decaf. Yeah. Big. It's a big thing for me. And my EFT. And I found this cool new meditation that puts me in such a zone that I get super peaceful calm on my Insight app. So I love when I find like a new one that I just really dig, and it gets me like I can just kind of drop into a really peaceful, zoned out state really quickly with this one. So those are my things right now.
You know, something you used to do that I never could get into. I was totally envious that you did it.
What did I do?
When you were doing the oil pulling in your mouth?
Oh, I was just thinking about that today.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I have not done that in months, and I have a dentist appointment coming up.
You did it for like a whole year, every day.
For a while, I was trying to, once I find something that's cool, I would like commit to it. Like, will this work? I'm going to do my experiment. I want to do that again because it just came up. I just was thinking, you're mentioning all the things I was thinking about just today recently.
See?
They're connected.
For those of you that don't know, oil pulling is using olive oil or avocado oil, whatever type of oil.
I think it was some crazy oil that they wanted you, not maybe like a really bad tasting one, like maybe not sesame, but something weird like that. And I could never do that. So I used coconut oil.
Coconut oil. That's what you use. That's right. Yeah. But you could use any kind. But I think
there are some that are, that are
you just swish it through your teeth, basically.
It's like
10 minutes. Yeah.
As long as you can. Some people do it up to 20.
Yep. And you just are getting bacteria. You're cleaning your gums. You're swishing through your teeth. And it's supposed to have like amazing benefits.
I think it's right here. So I have this. I love my dentist. I have all my dental things right here. I was just there. And he has a whole list of things to like stay healthy during COVID and all these things. And on the
how cool.
And oil pulling was one of his things on his
from the dentist.
Yeah, from the dentist.
Ooh.
But he's a biohealth dental dude. He's like to, do things that are compatible with the body and make sure it's all, I don't even know. It's one of those. I can't talk. I've lost all language. That must mean it's time to stop talking on the show.
Right?
I'm going to read you. I'm going to see. We've got
Yeah, I see Darisa has written that she does everything with love. That makes her slow down. So she's taking a second to just be loving in those moments.
Love into what you're doing. Like if you're cooking, nice. It sounds whatever like cleaning. Like I love that. Ori used to say, "Let love lead your changes." Well, she might still say that, but that was one of my favorite things that she would say because I just love that. It was like if you just let love lead whatever you're doing, it feels, it feels nice. It slows down. I love that, Darisa. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh. It seems like you're giving yourself, that beautiful protective bubble of light emanating from you. So there's just constant feeding of love. That's good.
I like it, especially if you like make things like she was saying cooking. But I'm thinking of people who make actual or make soaps. And I can just see the infusing of to all her products before she ships them out and while she's making them, doing things like that.
This right here. So I my sister sent me this for my birthday. She is an incredible
Did she make it?
pottery. What?
Did she make it?
She made it. She's an incredible pottery artist and just an incredible artist. And she it's really hard to see, but she told me all the things that she did to this piece to make for me. She dyed the clay first. Then she used another color, 2 different colored dyed clays. Then she used porcelain, and she used every little carving that she used. She made it's a unicorn actually stamp that she pressed into the clay, and she told me she infused it with sister love. And she said to me, "Can you feel it?"
Oh, that's very sweet.
I know.
Very sweet. Was that for your birthday? Did you just get that, or was that before? Oh, you
No,
did. You
for
just
my
got
birthday.
it? Oh,
Yes. And she
Very
sent me a tea mug with the same design of unicorns and a little dish with the moon inside of it that she made for me.
so you were feeling loved.
Oh my gosh.
So
Oh.
much good, fun, love stuff.
Yep. Just the fact that the box with her name showed up on it for me, I was like, I don't even need to open this. I just already felt it. It was so sweet. Yeah.
Was you have big plans for the rest of your birthday week? Because birthday month, you just started.
Birthday month. Yes.
It's not over.
Yeah, there's a little more cake to eat, which is good. And I think that Nevin and I are going to play a game of Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sorry. I love it. Well, I'm so glad that we got to connect this week. I needed this. I needed to just hang out. I'm so glad that you guys were joining us.
Thank you.
We'll do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe I can't do that little, I can show everybody that little home facial to do with avocado.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Okay.
I am not going to do one with you.
Okay.
I'm just going to be honest.
Just let everybody know the ingredients first, and if you want to join in.
Oh, and then you can join. You can all do it together. Oh, then I'm going to feel like I have to do it.
No, you don't have to. I'll do it for you.
No, it'll be fun. Then I'll feel like but I don't want to miss out if everyone's going to do it together. All right, you get the rest.
We'll get it together. Oh, thanks so much. That was very nice.
That was fun. All right, bye, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you soon.
Have a great, loving week.